right, Ted. You took your time.
With Aviva Car Insurance, if your car isn't driver blocked on accident, they'll still get you to your destination.
John, I'm sorry to throw this one at you, but I'm just seeing a Labour Party spokesperson has said Diane Abbott has been administratively suspended from the Labour Party pending an investigation. We cannot comment further while this investigation is going on. And this follows those comments she made, which she then rode back on, John, and then was allowed back into the party. And now she said that she actually stood by what she said, basically.
Well, it's because she said she stands by what she said, of course, that she's in trouble. I mean, there really is a purge, isn't there, going on at the moment? And I mean, we talked earlier about the 4 Labour MPs suspended who are accused of repeatedly breaking the whip. Now, this is Diane Abbott, of course, who there's absolutely no love lost between Diane Abbott and Sir Keir Starmer. I always notice when she gets up during Prime Minister's questions, just to the right of where the Prime Minister stands, he can barely bring himself to look her in the eye. But clearly, she's in trouble, Sir Keir Starmer. I always notice when she gets up during Prime Minister's questions, just to the right of where the Prime Minister stands, he can barely bring himself to look her in the eye. Sir Keir Starmer. I always notice when she gets up during Prime Minister's questions, just to the right of where the Prime Minister stands, he can barely bring himself to look her in the eye. But clearly, she's in trouble again. There'll be a lot of sympathy for her. OK, she might hold left-wing views that not all Labour MPs agree with, but she is a popular Member of Parliament. She is the mother of the House, as she calls herself, after Harriet Harman quit as an MP. And, well, will there be a way back for Diane Abbott? This means, of course, that, yet, I mean, along with John McDonnell, who was probably Jeremy Corbyn's most senior ally in Parliament, he was a Shadow Chancellor. Diane Abbott was the Shadow Home Secretary. And well, they really are coming for the Corbynites, aren't they? The Starm troopers, as they're known. And this is going to cause more division and rancour in the Labour Party. There are those who feel that the Prime Minister is being too heavy-handed. This is a different issue, of course. This is the anti-Semitism row, which the Prime Minister's vowed to stamp out. And of course, it's not quite the same as rebelling, although Diane Abbott is no fan of the current regime. And, well, the rifts, the splits, the divisions are growing deeper all the time, it seems. As we approach the summer recess, the PM kept talking in Prime Minister's questions yesterday about how MPs need a break and so on. Well, there's no break from the factionalism and infighting, it seems, in the PLP as we approach the summer recess.
And I'm just looking at what administrative suspension means. It does, I understand, have the automatic effect of suspending the Labour whip in the House of Commons. So, as you say, I mean, it's interesting, given all this talk of a left-wing party.
Well, indeed. I mean, Diane Abbott, of course, is
the Labour whip in the House of Commons. So, as you say, I mean, it's interesting, given all this talk of a left-wing party.
Well, indeed. I mean, Diane Abbott, of course, is close politically to Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn's party, Zara Sultana, rather jumped the gun and caught Jeremy Corbyn off guard. And they haven't launched that party yet, but opinion polls have suggested it might actually do quite well and take votes off the Labour Party. Now, would Diane Abbott leave the Labour Party? John McDonnell has insisted he's got no intention of leaving Labour, hopes to get the whip back. Diane Abbott, of course, is probably Labour to her core, but, I mean, she's being provoked, isn't she? They really are. It does look as though they're out to get her, her friends would say. One of her close allies, Belle Ribeiro Abbey, was one of those who was disciplined last night. She was a trade envoy. And as I say, the factionalism, they really are out to get the left at the moment. There's no attempts to heal the wounds. And we were talking earlier about how in the Blair government, of course, Tony Blair used to tolerate dissent far more than Keir Starmer is. Big rebellions. I mean, there were regular rebellions in the Blair years, and yet there weren't these suspensions, there weren't this sort of action taken against not just veteran rebels like Diane Abbott, but the younger new MPs that were punished last night. And clearly, this will be seen very much as a war on the left by the Prime Minister and rebels like Diane Abbott, but the younger new MPs that were punished last night. And clearly, this will be seen very much as a war on the left by the Prime Minister and his allies and his team in Number 10. So there'll be sympathy for Diane Abbott. She is a trailblazer, one of the first black MPs in Parliament, 1987, along with Paul Boateng, Bernie Grant and